evening. Today is Monday, November the 6th, 2017, and you are watching FCN Prime News. For those joining us for the first time, I'm Trezene, your highly opinionated news anchor. And listen, I don't have any attempts to try to engage in comedic banter for you right now because I cannot believe that I'm about to do another mass shooting story tonight. For those who were with FCN Prime News from the start, our inaugural episode of Prime News was completely rerouted when we woke up that morning to discover that some disgruntled white man decided to inflict terror among a crowd of music at a music festival. And here we are today in our 6-week, 11th episode, delivering another story on another mass shooting at a church, no less. I went live with breaking news about the shooting yesterday, providing what was known at the time. And for those who subscribe to our YouTube page, they definitely got that breaking news alert sent to their phones and their inboxes. Here's what we do know now. The shooter is a white male, age 26, named Devin Patrick Kelly of Texas, who killed 26 and wounded 20 yesterday morning after opening fire on the congregation at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, during their Sunday morning service. And while police and mainstream media continued to spend time to discover facts to show that this wasn't a random shooting, as the shooter has been linked to 2 women that frequented that church, here's some facts that we cannot ignore. First, this is now the worst mass shooting in Texas history and now the deadliest at any house of worship in the United States history. Second, that this was a white congregation that was fired upon. And third, that this is looking like a domestic situation turned deadly. The bulk of social media outrage can be summed up in this single post by Jessica Diaz on Facebook. She says, prayers, thoughts, and gun legislation. Right? Exactly. But I'm here to tell y'all that when it comes to mass shootings, capitalism does not give a single care about this white-on-white crime. And all the lives lost and the devastation caused does not and will not ever outweigh the freedom to bear arms and the insane amount of money that the Second Amendment creates in profits. It is why they find ways to excuse, justify, and make the shootings to appear to be an anomaly. When it comes to this totem pole of oppression, I would say that it is the almighty dollar that trumps white lives. By the way, the right to bear arms doesn't apply to Black, brown, and Asian people. It was not written for us, so please don't at me on this. We get killed hands in the air at the mere thought of having a weapon on us, so please don't at me on that. I digressed. So my point is that nothing will outweigh the freedom to bear arms in this country, regardless of the lives taken. And I'm here with the numbers to prove it. When I reported on the Las Vegas mass shooting on October 2nd, I defined mass shooting via the Gun Violence Archive and the FBI standard, which is 4 or more deaths by gunfire in an event without a cooling off period. Based on that definition, in the year 2017 alone, we have now had 307 mass shootings to date. But in order to provide you all the numbers to break down the numbers behind mass shootings, I'll have to change that definition just a little bit. We'll be looking at mass shootings where there's a lone shooter with an average of 8 people dying, which can include the shooter. 2, the shooting has to take place at the same time in the same general location. And 3, it doesn't include gang killings, shootings that begin as other crimes such as robberies, and killings that involved only the shooter's family. With this new definition, since 1966, which is the University of Texas shooting from the tower that happened, there have been 132 mass shootings in United States history. All right, here comes the breakdown. Where are these shootings taking place? According to FBI data from 2013, about 27% of the mass shootings occurred in workplaces. 12.5% took place at schools, and another 30% take place in businesses in general. Who is doing all of these shootings? All of them are male, except 3. What's the average age of these mass shooters? 35. And what is the racial breakdown of these shooters? Based on the number of mass shootings defined between 1982 and 2017, because no one had data from 1966, 51 of the shooters are white, 15 are Black, 7 are Latino, 7 are Asian, 3 are Native American, and 8 are other and unknown. What I discovered, though, is that as the total number of victims killed and wounded in a single shooting rises, so does the percentage of white men as the shooter. So much so that the other racial categories drop to 0%. In other words, those inflicting the greatest harm in terms of those killed and wounded, white men. Next question, what guns are being used? Studies and reports can't state how all the guns in mass shootings are acquired, but the ones we do know, 164 were obtained legally, only 39 obtained illegally. How does America compare to other nations? While the United States has about 5% of the world's population, we got 31% of all the public mass shootings. And when the gun control debates peak, so does the demand for guns. Data about the number of background checks for gun sales tells us a lot about the patterns of demand. And these patterns tend to rise directly after high-profile mass shootings when public debates about gun control are high. And that, my friends, is what we call the marketing plan for guns. There's a lot of money to be made in the gun industry induced by fear and patriotism. And as a result, the gun industry has lots of money to give away to keep people from advocating against it. $13.5 billion is the annual revenue of the gun and ammunition manufacturing industry, with a $1.5 billion profit, according to IBIS World. And $3.1 billion is the annual revenue of gun and ammunition stores, which has a $478 million profit, according to IBIS World. And as crass as this sounds, there is no amount of children shot to death in a church or school that will be enough to outweigh this almighty dollar. No amount of white terror inflicted on other white lives that's going to be enough to legislate against this horror that is lack of gun control. And as long as the principal shooters are white men in a land made for and by them, this white-on-white crime will keep getting excused as mental illness and written off as the cost of doing business. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back, guys, to FCN Prime News. For those just joining us, I'm Trezene, your anchor for tonight. Last week, I reported on the latest developments in the Trump-Russia probe by Special Counsel Robert S. Mueller and the first indictments of Paul Manafort and Rick Gates for tax fraud and money laundering conspiracies in connection with their political lobbying and consulting for the Ukraine government. I also said that I believe Mueller's strategy is to use those indictments as a signal to everyone linked to Trump that if you lied before, you're going to get caught up. And if you have information you haven't disclosed yet, you should probably be proactive about making a deal, or may God have mercy on your soul. Over the weekend, we learned from a German publication who received 13 million leaked documents that the U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross failed to disclose shared business interests with Russian president's family during his confirmation process. According to the documents obtained by these several news organizations, that is what they've learned. Germany had no problem publicizing that. I see you, Germany. I see you. Even as a member of President Donald Trump's cabinet, billionaire Wilbur Ross continues to profit from those business dealings in Moscow. He concealed his ties to Russian energy company that is partly owned by the Russian president's judo partner and his son-in-law. Also yesterday, NBC reported that Mueller has enough evidence to bring charges in the probe into Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn served 24 days as Trump's national security advisor, but was fired after it was discovered that he had misrepresented his contacts with a Russian diplomat to Vice President Michael Pence. Mueller's team is looking at possibly charging Flynn with money laundering charges, lying to federal agents, and his role in the possible plan to remove an opponent of the Turkish president from the United States in exchange for millions of dollars. Okay, let's count these up. Mueller has got Paul Manafort, he's got Rick Gates, he's got George Papadopoulos for secretly lying under oath about his communications with Russia. Mueller's about to come for Michael Flynn, and he may have a reason to come for Wilbur Ross. Listen, we got 5 wigs that Mueller is trying to snatch. I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited. I'm excited if for nothing else than the mere thought of being an adult during a presidential impeachment. Now, I know impeachment is a complex political process, and that alone won't remove Trump from the Oval Office. I mean, heck, we've only had 2 presidents in our nation's history who've been impeached, and no president has been impeached and removed from office. So I know it's a slim chance, because in order to actually even be removed from office, a president has to be convicted by 2/3 majority in the Senate, and that has never happened before. But I've got my faith, hope, and trust in Mueller during all of this to bring out all of the dirty secrets, the lies, the criminal activity, all the things that he can set up for a slam dunk for a 2/3 conviction, because if it happens, it would be unprecedented and some amazing TV news binging. I'm looking forward to it. Also last week, I reported on what happened when the intersection of race and beauty comes, and we did that story with hashtag Justice for Jazzy, and this week we're back with another one. This is Jan. Jan got in her feelings about the way a black female traffic reporter was shaped and how she dressed that shape during her first couple of weeks at Channel 8, a local affiliate in Texas, and she went on social media and said this: "Has anyone seen Channel 8's new morning traffic reporter? Her name is Demetria Obelar, and she's a size 16-18 woman in a size 6 dress, and she looks ridiculous." Jan said this in a post, which has now been deleted. And y'all went in on Jan. Y'all can go on social media and see all of y'all going in. But here's a tweet I do want to highlight. Actual Patriot on Twitter posted this picture and said, "I bet Jan watches Fox News though." Yes, because Jan is a body shamer, because she's threatened by Demetria's hourglass figure. She's threatened by how that body feels in that dress. Listen, I am so tired of skinny women in nice clothes as being seen as fashionable, and women with a fertile looking figure in nice clothing is being seen as sex objects. I am tired of the body shaping wars that happens amongst women, where we shame each other for the body types that our genetics dictate before we even come into this world. I am tired. I am especially tired of the racial implications of all of this. It is well established that black women and brown women generally have thicker, fuller, curvier body types than Caucasian women. And for Jan to immediately call Demetria out for doing nothing but dressing her body type as professionally and aesthetically possible reeks of discrimination and racial hatred. And I am tired. This goes both ways. Sarah Huckabee, who is the press secretary for Donald Trump, was recently body shamed by an LA Times journalist, saying he couldn't believe Trump picked her because she's more of a chunky soccer mom than a sleek beauty with long legs and stiletto heels who could pass for eye candy. Why can't women do their friggin' jobs without having to be sized up by their looks all the time? Shout out to Demetria, though, for handling that situation tactfully, and keep wearing them dresses, honey. You know your body type, and you know that any other silhouette would not look flattering on TV. So do you, boo. Do you.
Yes, please.
We're going to go take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with some positivity.
society. Over the years, we've been watching you. Your financial abuse of the poor, your corruption of governments, your cover-ups of the murder of innocent, ordinary citizens, all for the sake of profit. This is why we at F Society have decided you must die. We are malicious and hostile. We do not compromise. We are relentless. We will not stop until every tentacle of your evil monstrosity is sliced off at the nerve. Consider yourself warned.
The next question needs to be yours or my place. Your chocolate skin, your chocolate skin. Turn the lights low, don't let me tell you again. I wanna put my mouth on your chocolate skin, your chocolate skin.
Hey everybody, welcome back to FCN Prime News. I'm your anchor, Trezene, here for some positive stories. I want to introduce you to a young gentleman. He's a young violinist who has received a scholarship to study music in England. He's African and he's only 13 years old. His name is Pendo Masot. Masot is following in the footsteps of his very, very musical family. He is from a family of established musicians, his famous musicians rather, and composers. His father is named, teleprompter moving so slow. His father is named Kutwano Masot and his grandfather is Michael Masot. His grandfather is known very well in the South African area and taught his son and grandson how to both play stringed instruments. They are very well known for not only their music, but their contribution to the musical landscape in South Africa. We have a clip for you guys to hear this young 13-year-old play his violin so beautifully. We'll give you maybe 20, 30 seconds of that. Upon winning his scholarship to study music in England, Pendo said this to the press. He said, "I started playing violin when I was 5 years old. I loved the violin and watching my grandfather who started his orchestra. He inspired me and he taught me how to play." Congratulations to the young Masot for his great musical accomplishments. It's always good to see young people learning their talents, using their talents for good. In Palestine, the street artist known as Banksy threw an apology party to mark the 100th birthday of the Balfour Declaration. This declaration, which was celebrated last Thursday, is a document where the British government declared with favor the establishment of Palestine as a national home for the Jewish people. Palestinians see this as a giving away of their homeland, while Israelis see it as helping to pave the way to the founding of their country at a time when Jews were facing persecution elsewhere. Banksy said in a statement that this conflict has brought so much suffering to people on all sides. I didn't feel it was appropriate to celebrate the British role in it. So the secretive British street artist held a special event outside of his hotel and involved 50 children, hosted by an actor dressed as Queen Elizabeth II for a British-style tea party. Their party hats were bullet-riddled helmets with British flags on them, while tattered Union Jacks were flown. The actor, Queen, revealed a plaque carved in concrete saying, sorry, plain on the common initials for Elizabeth Regina. The apology was etched in Israel's controversial separation wall, which in many areas cuts through Palestinian territory. Banksy has always been clever with his social commentary through his street art. Happy to see how he has brought awareness to a celebration to cause reflection on what it means historically for the Palestinian people. And in my final story for tonight, a beloved singer is back in the news because she has received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Selena, the queen of Tejano music, was honored Friday with a posthumous star in one of showbiz's most visible landmarks. The award-winning singer was killed 22 years ago by the president of her fan club, and at the time she was breaking concert attendance records. Her albums were at the top of music charts, and she was known for her hits that include Bitty Bitty Bom Bom, Dreaming of You, and Como La Flor. Y'all know them songs, and if you don't watch Selena every time the movie comes on TV, well, in the words of Chris Rock, I guess that's how you were raised. But I swear, literally, I watched that movie a million times in high school because I think it was on every day in our Spanish class. Like, that's basically was a whole semester of Spanish class for me in high school. Anyway, Selena was one of 34 entertainers who was selected from 300 entertainers to get a star this year. So congratulations to Selena and her family. And according to social media, a lot of people showed up to take pictures with that star. So congratulations to the family and congratulations, Selena. All right, we're going to kick it straight to the sports guy. J-Co is it. I know he has some great stories for you guys tonight. So take it away, J-Co.
Hey, welcome to FCN Prime Sports. I am J-Co. You can follow me at J-Co is it. First, before I get into my other stories, on a related note to Trezenae's news stories, J-Co did take a job in Dallas for a local news source channel as a sports reporter, so I'll be moving down there. But anyway, we believe. Hashtag J-Co and Demetria. In other news, our top story. Nobody caught that? Okay.
I think we caught it, but
In other stories, Liam Jimmons, red-shirted freshman at USC, approximately a month ago, ran into a fan on the field when he was running off of the field after a loss to Washington State University. The fans had rushed the field before the USC players had exited. We have video. We're going to play that real quick. Watch for the red arrow so you can see the hit. So, as you can see, yes, he was in full gear. Yes, he ran into a fan that was on the field. Did he tackle that fan? Did he put his helmet down? No. The fan was in his way. He was running off the field. He knocked the fan over. Now, first of all, rules, laws vary based on the jurisdiction, based on the school, on whether or not, or excuse me, not whether or not, but what the punishment is for fans running on the field before the other teams, especially the visiting team, has cleared the field. But there's one standard. They do not want fans running out there before that visiting team has cleared the field. They chose to run out there after this victory to celebrate. So first things first, that fan was out of order by being on that field where they did not belong. I will concede it was a hard hit because this person's a football player, correct? Yes, Jimmins is pretty big, was again in full gear and hit that fan. Did he go full speed? No. Did he put his head down, even his shoulder down? No. So what's the story here? Well, Washington State Police, the university police, have investigated, probably not really, investigated this incident and recommended felony charges for Jimmins. Felony charges for a football player running into a fan who was on the field when they shouldn't have been. Now, first of all, this is university police, which have pretty much little to no jurisdiction in the real world. But they still decided that it was their job to do an investigation and say, this man who, I'll give you guys one guess as to the color, ancestry of this gentleman, Mr. Jimmins. Anybody got a guess? No? Yes? African American. Yes, he's a black man. Yes. So they decide that they're going to punish this man as hard as they possibly can and say, hey, felony battery charges. Excuse me, but is that a little bit overboard? Yes, yes it is. But just another example of white people in power flexing their muscle over someone who they think got out of line because all they should be doing is what? Playing the sport. That's the only thing that you should be doing. Then go home, sit in a closet, and just have your hands folded, put your head down until it's time to play the next game. I don't think so. There are living, breathing people out here. Everyone in this country deserves to live. Thank you very much. Off my soapbox. In my next story, we've got Cam Newton. We're going to keep it on football, but something a little more amazing. So Cam Newton in the win, Carolina Panthers quarterback in his win over the Atlanta Falcons had a pretty remarkable touchdown. As you can see in the graphic, he, I think for the first time in NFL history, posterized a defensive player. It was Atlanta Falcons' Desmond Trufant, who was trying to keep Cam from getting into the end zone, and Cam did what I think any naturally gifted athlete would do. He dunked on him. He dunked the ball on his head to get the touchdown. He took crossing the plane into a whole other level. So I want to say, as Cam has had a little rough start to his year, to his season with his whole female comments and with the issue with the reporter, and people always like getting on him about his wardrobe choices. I'm going to say good job, Cam. You have escalated yourself back to the top of the sports world with that victory and with that dunk. And in my next story, if you all didn't see it, Deontay Wilder fought his rematch against, this guy's got a name, Bermain Stiverne. It's what a name. Bermain Stiverne, I'm going to say from Haiti. The only person that ever faced Wilder without getting knocked out in their first match. Well, kind of a different thing happened this one. Wilder, in the first round, knocked Stiverne down 3 times. That third time was with a devastating punch that literally folded the man backwards and in half. Knocked him out cold to decisively win and retain the the WBC championship. After the fight, Wilder decided to call out British champion Anthony Joshua for the next fight. Now, I want to tell you guys why this is extremely important. The heavyweight championship, the heavyweight field, has not been interesting since when? The last British champion, actually. No, I'm saying right before him, because he's what brought that division down. I can't remember his name now. What's
Lennox.
Lennox Lewis. There we go. Lennox Lewis, me and Revolution's favorite boxer of all time, in a sarcastic way. Lennox Lewis, who ruined the heavyweight championship, the heavyweight division, by his boring. Yes, bruv.
Bruv, I did not boring up the heavyweight division, bruv. I brought more excitement to it, bruv. I was doing my thing out there in the boxing ring.
Right.
I was doing what us Brits have invented, which is pugilism.
Pugilism at its finest.
I was gonna say that you stole my bit. You stole my bit. It wasn't my shine, but you stole my bit. All right.
Well, thank you for that, bruv. Thank you for that on point Lennox Lewis impression. Lennox, we're sorry, but that style is boring. So you ruined it. You ruined it. Now we may have, because what was it? Holyfield was our last really exciting championship. And not only that, it's been WBC. It's been about almost a decade since we've even had an American champ before Wilder took that back. So he's called out again, Brit Anthony Joshua. Now, I have a graphic. We want to do that full screen because Wilder ain't the only one who be knocking folks out. Now, this screenshot is one right after an Anthony Joshua right-hand cross to this man's face. And if you see the face that's on the screen right now, he is rethinking life itself in this picture. Now, that right hand is devastatingly powerful. Wilder, on the other hand, also has a devastatingly powerful right hand. These two men are Goliaths. I got a little statistics here for you. We have Wilder is 6'7". He is 39-0 with only one fight coming that wasn't a knockout. His reach, 83 inches long. Joshua ain't no punk. Following up, he's only 1 inch shorter, 6'6". Reach is only 1 foot shorter, 82 inches. He is 20-0. So we've got two undefeated heavyweights. The boxing world needs to make this happen. All right, we haven't had good fights for how long in the heavyweight division? Klitschko was the champion. Who was watching that guy fight? He was only fighting like in old hangars in Siberia.
Bruv, he's one of my favorite fighters.
Yes, because you beat him several times, didn't you?
One of my favorite fighters to watch, bruv. You have no idea what you are talking about right now, bruv.
Right. Well, you know, Lewis, I appreciate your expert input, and I'm gonna have to
Sir Lennox Lewis to you.
So
bruv.
right, Sir Lennox Lewis. Thank you very much, sir. And quickly in our final story, since I did miss last Thursday, I just wanted to do a quick congratulations to the Houston Astros for winning the World Series. It was an amazing 7-game series. They took it to the end, closed it out. Congratulations to the city of Houston, to the Astros for their first championship. So that is it for JCO tonight in sports. Coming up next, we will have pop culture amazing stories. Revolution's got some amazing. You will be blown away tonight. Trust me. We'll be right back.
We are F Society. Over the years, we've been watching you. Your financial abuse of the poor, your corruption of governments, your cover-ups of the murder of innocent ordinary citizens, all for the sake of profit. This is why we at F Society have decided you must die. We are malicious and hostile. We do not compromise. We are relentless. We will not stop until every tentacle of your evil monstrosity is sliced off at the nerve. Consider yourself warned.
The Revolution with your pop culture stories. Let me just say this. J. Cole is it. It's not it. He is a sham artist. He is not anyone you want to work with. And he is definitely not someone you want as a friend. I do not have any amazing stories lined up due to the fact that tonight's broadcast has run us right into the ground, so I literally am going to have to squeeze in these little quick tidbits as soon as possible. First of all, I want to start out with Selena. Chesney, you say this one word that I cannot pronounce. Posthumous?
Posthumous. Yes, it was spelled phonetically in the teleprompter or in the thing just to help me.
Yeah, I read it and I know what it means. I'm great with knowing what words mean. But actually being able to say it, I cannot. And then another thing I want to say about J. Cole's sports story, you know, what's funny is this. How many millions did Adam Sandler make with us, he and Ha-Han, and white man was and power driving them and jackknife power bombing them on the football field?
Many millions.
185 to be exact.
Yes.
$185 million. Mm-hmm. But this dude pushes somebody out the way and it's time for felonies. Listen here, young nigglin. You should be thankful you got a full ride scholarship. You can't hit good white like that. Now let's go watch Adam Sandler and do some of that comedy. I don't know.
Brilliant, bruv. Brilliant.
Bruv. Yeah. Oh, first things first. Congratulations to Walt Disney Company, owners of Marvel Cinematic Universe and their comic book publishing company as well. Thor Ragnarok debuted this weekend to a pretty monstrous, because of the Incredible Hulk, see what I did there, opening weekend of $121 million, pushing Walt Disney and Marvel to $5 billion, what they have made thus far by purchasing the company back in whenever they purchased it for $4 billion. I don't have to have all the facts. That's what Google's for. You don't even do that. Yeah. So, yeah, but that's one thing, right? Here's the bigger thing. So after that, 20th Century Fox began to have talks with Disney about acquiring all of their entertainment divisions. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know exactly what that means? All you nerds out there, I'm sure you do, but you people who have no idea, I'm going to give you the 411. 20th Century Fox is going to sell, maybe, potentially, in talks, their entertainment division to Disney. That will include the licenses for such film franchises as Marvel's Fantastic Four and Marvel's The X-Men franchise. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the X-Men franchise, who cares about Fantastic Four? But Fantastic Four actually fits Disney's MO a lot better than Wolverine running around gutting people from their gonads to their nonads. Like, if you're a guy, you know what a gonad is, and then the nonads is where there are no nads. No, don't get it. All right, moving on. That would be a huge implication. I personally don't know how I feel about it yet, because what would that mean for all the rated R films that we've been getting so far, such as Deadpool and Logan? Those films were widely successful by 20th Century Fox standards, especially Deadpool. Deadpool was really successful. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. In other news, really quickly, how much time do I have here? Oh, not much. Tamar and Vince of the Braxton family fame has decided to go their separate ways. Everybody hit it. Sing it. Separate Ways by Journey. Nobody knows a Tamar song.
Yes, we do.
No. A Tay what?
I'm a Tay Martian.
A Tay Martian. She looks like a Martian. Tamar.
One day love will find you.
Shut up. Shut up. I'm on a Tamar impression now, and then you moved it back to. Oh my God. I hate this company. I promise I hate it. Nevertheless, they are breaking up. Supposedly, producer told me that Vince has lost considerable weight, and he's been out here tripping. He's tripping because Tamar wanted to get married and start a family, and said, you know what, guys, I'm going to forego my music career for family. And was that really what happened, or was I'm going to forego being a successful artist? Vince is getting sued?
Yes.
By whom? Sony.
Yeah, for almost $3 or $4 million.
Oh, that's nothing. I can write him that check.
But I think, Tamar got her money now, so she's.
Tamar ain't got no money. You know who's got the money to give to help him out? The Smith family. If they out here writing checks, Jada will, because you got to talk to Jada, because she has the gonads, and he has the no-nads. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Revolution, and this has been FCN's Pop Culture Corner. And I guess we are. Can I just end the show for once?
Yes.
Yes. You have watched FCN's Prime News. I am the Revolution. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay blessed. Good night.